the 1990s, after the urban renewal project, the city of Niagara Falls was looking to find ways to extend the tourist season and bring the community back downtown by adding more retail and indoor entertainment spaces. In 1997, Canadian developer Edwin Cogan approached the city and proposed a plan to spend $130 million to develop downtown Niagara Falls. The Niagara Falls Redevelopment Corporation was created. In 1998, half of NFR was sold to New York City real estate developer Howard Milstein. The main NFR footprint is the area bordered by John Daly Boulevard, Buffalo Avenue, 12th Street, and Niagara Street. The 13th Street Gym, former Nabisco plant, and the Turtle all sit on the properties owned by NFR. Niagara Falls Redevelopment presented their vision for the 140 acres they purchased. It included attractions, retail, movie theaters, and hotels. The city was excited for what this organization would bring to our community. And then, nothing. Since established, Niagara Falls Redevelopment has failed the city of Niagara Falls. After properties were purchased, signs and fences went up. Not a single business ever opened. Several administrations have attempted to work with Roger Trevino, Executive Vice President for Development of NFR, with zero success. NFR has been given several deadlines over the years. NFR constructed a concrete foundation on the site of the closed 10th Street playground in order to meet a deadline. No development was ever completed. They also held a groundbreaking ceremony outside of the Turtle in June of 2000 with no real plan to develop the property. According to the NFR website, quote, NFR's contributions to the community include property and school taxes totaling nearly $11.6 million, making NFR and its subsidiaries among the largest taxpayers in Niagara Falls, unquote. But not only has NFR failed to develop and maintain their properties, they have actively worked to have their properties reassessed in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2011, and 2021 in order to lower their tax levy. This has cost the city, school district, and the citizens of Niagara Falls millions of dollars in lost taxes. In 2021 alone, reassessments cost the city over $3.3 million in reduced tax revenue. NFR has demolished multiple properties as another method of reducing their tax burden. NFR has on many occasions gone to court to lower property assessments. Recently, the city of Niagara Falls proposed a plan for Centennial Park, an idea originally proposed by NFR. NFR responded that they had plans to build a data center on the same site.
I'm not interested in opposing the creation of a data center. It's just that I don't believe that that's the right spot for it. And NFR has such a large section of land downtown that they don't need to contest the location that we're at. Ed Milstein came to town. He offered just a preposterous plan that would involve the relocation of social services, taking of homes from people. 2 Armenian churches would have to be uprooted. In order for us to go forward with this event center, we needed to come up with our own plan on how to acquire the property. And so later that year, the City Council approved going forward with eminent domain proceedings for 12 acres of land located right across from the casino across John B. Daly Boulevard. NFR decided to file an action to prevent the city from going forward. We were successful. The appellate division refused their request to halt the eminent domain and to say that the process was fair. And the appellate division actually upheld the idea that our plan to improve a long-standing vacant parcel of land, which had become a blight downtown, that our plan, in fact, was a public purpose that would benefit the city. You know, we had discussions with NFR representatives as early as the end of 2019. It had long been the position of Niagara Falls Redevelopment to build a multi-purpose facility on the property right where we're talking about. As a matter of fact, there were a series of text messages exchanged between myself and Roger Trevino over the precise location, his dissatisfaction with any suggestion that it should go to the west of the casino, that it didn't belong there, that in fact the best place was east of the casino and on NFR land. NFR actually also began funding studies. They funded a study and partially funded a study in 2017 that suggested the need for an event center in the city of Niagara Falls. And then again in 2021 with the assistance of Pat Whalen over at the Global Tourism Institute through the auspices of Niagara University, which also came out with the same conclusion. The city's hospitality season starts sometime in early to mid-April and extends through to sometime late October, early November. It's at that time that 1/3 to 1/2 of the 10,000 hospitality workers get laid off. On average, that's 4,000 workers every year get laid off just before Thanksgiving. And of that 4,000 workers, over 75% are people of color and 51% are women. If you're going to build a community, if you're going to do the best to try and get people to become homeowners and to move out of the tenant class and into the homeowning class, you have to work on poverty. You have to work on giving them jobs that are going to be meaningful. The Event Center will give us the opportunity to have events from November through to the beginning of the tourist season again in April. When we think about the data center that NFR is proposing, there's a couple of things that really come to my mind. Number one, if it's a real plan. Why do I say that? You know, in 2005, they said that on the very property where we proposed the event center and the park, they were going to build a $100 million hotel and water park. And you see that it's not there. In fact, there's a fence around it and some cinder block in the ground. And then in 2016-17, they said they were going to build a 20-story grand hotel and spa at the Turtle. The Turtle still sits there, deteriorating, because they make these claims and they don't carry it through. Now, if this data center is the real deal, if they're really interested in doing that, number one, there are a number of hurdles. They talk about having to create an electric station within their footprint. The reality is there's an awful lot of work that needs to be done in order to get to the place where they want to get to. Number one, it doesn't belong out front near the area where the tourists generally travel. And they have another 130 acres, a lot of which is located closer to the industrial section of Buffalo Avenue, where they could put this data center and they could provide for whatever development they think is best with regard to the size and scope of the data center. That's not the right location for it, and they know it. If they're real, we welcome them into the community, but we certainly welcome them into a community where they're more appropriately situated. We're moving forward with taking control of our own destiny. That's what the eminent domain proceeding is all about. It's about not waiting for somebody else to do something for us anymore. The city of Niagara Falls really can't wait much longer. You know, all of us who are here as long as I've been here, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And so the time is now for us to grab a hold of our own future and to do the things that are necessary for our children and our grandchildren. All of us talk about wanting our kids to stay here. Well, let's start creating those venues that are going to make it exciting for them to stay. I think the event center, I think the park, that's just the beginning. More will come, but we have to start somewhere.